Hey, in this video we'll learn to use the persistence in YAG. So persistence is the property of an object to follow us when switching to a new map or an existing one. I'm using here two empty saves. As you can see, they contain no character sheet, they contain no pawns, no nothing. In fact, they are brand new saves. Now let's create a new character sheet and save. So here I'm gonna name it test. Saving. Obviously the character sheet exists on save 1, but if I go on save 2, it's not there, and it's perfectly normal. Now let's come back to save 1 and make the character sheet persistent by checking this box here. Alright, so now if I go back to save 2, the character sheet is still there. It is persistent. Okay, so let's go back to save 1. Persistence can also be used with pawns. A pawn is made persistent when it is attached to a persistent character sheet. So let's create a new pawn and attach it to our character sheet. There. Okay, so the pawn is now persistent. Now, pawn's persistence is a bit more subtle than character sheet persistence, and that's because YAG cannot know where the persistent pawns should be placed on the destination map. So they are put on a persistent tray that will follow us on every map. This tray can be called from the pawn panel by clicking this button here. Alright, so we can see now that if I go to save 2, the pawn is still on the tray. Okay, so it is indeed persistence. But then comes another question, because when a persistent pawn already exists on the map, there can be a conflict, because the pawn might be in a different state on the map and on the tray, like being equipped differently or having a different number of hit points or a different size or any modification actually. So again, YAG has no way to know which pawn is the one we want to use. For example, when arriving on a new map, the tray is generally the reference because it contains the updated pawns from the previous map. But when modifying a pawn on a map, then the map becomes the reference and we want the tray to be updated with the map info. So because YAG has no way to know what the reference should be, I made two buttons here and here. They do exactly the same thing with one difference. In case of a conflict, this one here does not update the tray, while this one updates it from the map before showing it to us. Okay, so let me show you that by creating a copy of the persistent pawn here. Okay, let's say the character finds a sword during its adventures. So let's equip it with a sword. Now note that if I press this button, I will get the current state of the pawn Okay, so not the updated one. And if I press this one, then I get the updated state. Okay, so we have to be very careful to never click this button here before having updated all the pawns on the map, because we will lose the content of the tray, obviously. For this reason, this button is available to everyone because it allows players to update their pawns on the map and cannot replace the content of the tray, so it's completely harmless. But those two buttons here, okay, are only available to the dungeon master because they can replace or destroy some content on the tray. Okay, fortunately, to simplify things a bit, in principle this button should never be used. That's because when leaving a map, YAG automatically press it to make sure we leave the map with an updated tray. So let's check that modifying our pawn again by giving it a different weapon. So let's take an axe here. Okay, and go back to save 1. Now we can see that the tray contains the updated pawn with the axe, okay, which is what we want. So always use this button as much as you can, and use this one only when you want to check the state you'll take away with you when leaving the map. Alright, so I didn't talk about this button. It's very simple. It's a button that empties the tray completely. So it can be useful if for any reason your persistent tray is messed up. You can just empty it. So I'm going to put the pawn here just to show that to you. You can empty the tray if you need to clean it up and make it from a new state. So if you've got a clean map, you can just get a clean tray by emptying it and creating a new tray. All right. Or another example of usage for this button would be if you arrive on a new empty map and you don't want any persistent pawn on the tray, then you can just empty it, and that will be it. Okay, so again, this button is available to everyone. Those two, because they can harm the tray, they are available only to the dungeon master. Right, I'm a bit sorry that this is a bit complicated, but there are decisions, as you understand, that YAG cannot automatically make. So you have to do some things manually, and so you have to understand what you're doing. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful and interesting. Thanks for watching it, and hopefully see you in the next. Bye!